Hello, this is wmpyr, and I gotta tell you guys about this crazy Japanese TV show that I've been hooked on. It's on Netflix, and let's say it has nine episodes. Okay, and I'm on episode 7, I think. Okay, so I still haven't finished it. I'm almost there, but yeah, I just had to talk to you guys about this crazy show. It's called Real Love. So it's REA and then it's parenthesis L and then OVE. So the L is used for both real and also for love. So it's the premise is you have 10 guys, 8 girls, and they're in Okinawa, this beautiful island in Japan, and they're trying to hook up, right? So they're trying to find real love there. Now, so it's like your typical, trashy reality TV show, except there's a twist. What is the twist? It's the fact that every single contestant here has some sort of dark secret. You don't know what it is, but they have something that really affects them deeply and is something major. So. Uh, as the show goes on, they start revealing this stuff really fast, and the show doesn't seem like it's really that long. So I'm guessing they shot this like in a week. So within the week time, and by a week, I'm thinking more like 5 days maybe. So within that time, they're like revealing each one of those contestants' dark secret at random, very very fast. So each episode will have like I don't know like maybe like 3 reveals, maybe more. I wasn't counting, but it feels like it happens a lot. So let's see. Why is this so interesting? I don't know. If you watch shows like this, like dating shows and stuff like that, and I know it's trashy. I guess back in the day there were times that I was watching like Jerry Springer stuff. So it's to me it's kind of like the same thing. It's like trashy entertainment kind of stuff. But at the same time, it also kind of reflects humanity in some ways. I know it's a reality TV show, so how much of it is real and whatnot, but sometimes you feel for the contestants, or you can relate to, or you go, man, thank goodness I'm not that person, So I got to make sure not to end up being like that person. So what are the dark secrets? The dark secrets. Okay, so I'm just gonna start bringing up people at random here. I'm looking at the photographs of some people. So this girl right here. Man, they just kept talking about like how big her boobs were, and it's like they couldn't get over that. She's very, very quirky, very awkward. She had a very hard time getting romantic with anyone, and her dark secret was that it's strange because she seems very. You would think that she's very, very introverted, but at the same time, she wanted to be a pop star, so she ended up working with a shady business, and they produced videos and stuff for her, and it ended up becoming like none of it sold. And they even showed a clip of her music video, and it was downright terrible. No offense to her, but I mean they probably led her on, saying, "Hey, you're going to be the next, big thing. You're going to be celebrity, dude. Invest in this. It's going to be so worth it. We've seen millions of people, and you are special." They probably fed her all that stuff, and she fell for it. And then she ended up going into major debt. She had to pay for all that, and the music videos, and I don't know if they were made into DVDs or what. She had to buy them because they didn't sell. So yeah, that's her problem. That was her dark secret. The next person, this girl right here, was a former high school, I think, a beauty pageant. So a lot of the guys like were very attracted to her. She was very popular. She's a tiny, tiny looking thing, and kind of had like a princess, kind of like demure, like very quiet, very reserved. And her dark secret was she was like addicted to like dating athletes, and athletes, like some of them I think were married and stuff, and they would just like kind of like take advantage of her like sexually, or yeah, pretty much. And she was cool of it. She just liked going out with athletes. So none of them, she was treated more like a, I guess, like a one night stand, and she just said she has a weakness for that. And that was her dark secret, right? So the next one, this guy, I don't actually. He was one of the ones not revealed. He is I think a professional dancer, and I just read right now that he's successful. Like out of the guys, I thought he was the best looking dude, but he wasn't doing too well on the show as far as like hooking up with people and connecting with people. I don't know. Maybe they were intimidated that he was too good looking or whatnot. But he was, I believe, once again, a professional dancer, and he was one of the taller dudes. And yeah, he's now a successful actor and whatnot. So the next guy, this guy is a personal trainer. They called him no personality because he just wasn't charismatic compared to the other people. There was really nothing to label. They gave all these people terrible labels, like big tits or whatever, all these terrible labels. And then once their dark secret was revealed, you got even worse of a label. But with this dude, his only label that they called him was Mr. No Personality, kind of like that. And he, like I said, he was a personal trainer, so he's relatively fit and whatnot, but and not a bad looking dude, I thought, but he was having trouble connecting with the women, and probably because of that. And then his dark secret was he was in major debt. He made like one bad financial decision after the next, and it just landed him into worse. He ended up like in pyramid schemes and whatnot, and just ended up in bad debt. So at least one girl said about him that his decision making process doesn't seem sound, and maybe that's why and she was referring to like the dating part. So it shows that he's still kind of like vulnerable to that. He is now working as a personal trainer, trying to clear his debt, but he's still in trouble, right? Was it this guy that some of the other people said that it's his debt is not that bad, it's just him, his decision making process. So anyway, it could have been him, it could have been someone else. So this next girl is a former ballerina. She, out of the girls, I think is the tallest. She kind of has like very, very long legs, so a lot of guys probably attracted to her. Body wise, probably the most attractive body. So this young lady right here, what happened was her dark secret was that she is a former, like, how do you call it? Not a escort, but in Japan it's very common where you go to like this, like a bar type setting, and they are the girls, there are girls there to sit with you and hang out with you. So that's what she does, and basically I guess her job is to sell drinks, right? But she's there to serve your drink, and also to talk to you and make you feel special, whatnot. But it's not a prostitute, but it's I wouldn't say her job is looked down upon, but it is kind of like, when you are having a job like this, like you hear this about a lot of strippers, is that they'll say when a guy comes in, my job is to make them feel like they're $1,000,000, but that they're very special and they're wonderful people or whatever. But in my eyes, all I'm seeing is how can I get money out of this guy? So she said that when I look at men, that's all I see is money. So that was her dark secret. So she's like, please, I hope I could really fall in love with someone and change that, you know. The next girl is this girl right here. She is a underground pop star, I think is the way she was labeled. So she's, I guess has, I don't know if it's on YouTube or online, is what I'm thinking. She's kind of famous or has a name. Um, so what is her dark secret? Her dark secret is that she, I think, got taken advantage of by a guy, and the guy was like, "Hey, man, why don't you lose some weight? Augment your breasts." So she got a fake boobs and got the liposuction, and then he, I think, pretty much left her. So after that, she started hooking up with guys that are younger than her, and she basically plays the sugar mama role. And she says she's kind of like stuck in that, and she can't get out of it. So that's her dark secret. So the next person, this guy, I think he was a high school athlete, maybe possibly a college athlete. So he's, you know, an athletic guy. He ended up being, he seemed very quiet, seemed nice and everything, but then his dark secret was that he had slept with over 150 women. So the girl that he, like, I think it was his first girlfriend, his first serious girlfriend, she cheated on him, and then after that he just fell into this, like, he felt like he needed to become this guy that would just, you know, sleep around with girls left and right. So that's what happened to him. He became a sex addict, and in a very short amount of time, he slept with like 150 girls. And he's a very young looking dude, good looking guy, and he's real young. So I think, but so that is definitely a very high amount for especially such a short period of time in his age. And then I think he was trying to get out of that. He wanted to fix that, you know, about himself. So now let's move on. I think, yes, I talked about her. This one is the ballerina girl. This one is the augmented breast. So this guy right here, he's like I think a host for a club. So he like he hosts clubs, and he, I think, business wise very successful. So he hosts parties and stuff like that. I thought he was a kind of like a quasi celebrity. I was wrong. Let's see. His dark secret, and he is one of those guys that I call in Japan. You'll see this. I call them like doll men or doll boys or whatever. So he looks like a J-pop star. It's like those guys that they're not, I don't know if you'd call them good looking, but it's almost like they're pretty. You know, they look like dolls, you know, and those kinds of guys are very, very popular in Japan. I think the stereotype is that the Japanese men can be like doll boys or whatever. And then, but like in Korea, because of the military and all that, the guys there look, you know, stronger, tougher, you know. So if you're looking more for rugged, you know, go check out the Korean guys. If you're looking for someone more, you know, like I guess like a doll, Japan. You know, it's become that way, at least in modern times, and he fits right into that category. So this dude, his thing was that he's addicted to plastic surgery. So he had his nose done and all kinds of stuff done. He wants to do more. He feels like it's part of his job, you know, as a host to do these parties and stuff. It almost seems like maybe part DJ, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, that's his thing. He wants to find a girl who will accept that he's put in a lot of money into the plastic surgery on himself, but he has no intention of stopping. And I think financially he's doing well with the clubs, you know, with club hosting. So the next guy, he was the oldest guy of the group, and he, I think, had a successful job. It sounded like an office job, or maybe a technical job, like an engineer or something. I'm not exactly don't remember. But this guy, his dark secret was that he is a cross dresser, and then online he is kind of known. So he has like a dual life doing that, and yeah, so that's kind of crazy, right? So he was like, if this was found out at his job and stuff, he could lose his job. And you know, after he came out on this TV show, I was like, dude, what's going to happen? He likes women. He almost seemed pervy compared to the other guys. He I think was the most pervy, but you know, at the same time, he seemed to do very well connecting with the girls. I don't know why. I maybe they felt unthreatened by him because he's an old guy and he looked old. You know, he didn't look studly or anything like that. And then I don't know, or maybe it was his job that he had a secure job. I don't know, but he seemed fairly popular. The next guy. This dude, when I first saw him, I was like, oh man, this guy, he has to be a thug. This guy, he looked like a thug. I pretty much thought that he was, you know, probably been locked up or drugs or something. And then his teeth was like all rotten. And one of the girls even commented, she was like, dude, if you're coming on a dating show, get your teeth fixed. It's just, I can't, it's so disgusting. I can't even look at you. And so, but he actually turned out to be a very nice guy. Very, I guess, I don't know, because of his teeth, he's very like introverted in a sense. But physically, he looks strong. I think he was a dancer. His dark secret was he was in prison. He had been locked up for doing a con job, and that so they called him a con artist, but actually it sounded to me more like he was dragged into it, and he also seemed to be repenting that he was very very sorry about that to society and everything, and he's changed his life, and it seemed like a really good guy. So you know, never judge a book by its cover kind of thing, right? Okay, so this guy we don't know. Oh, there was another guy who was a short dude. He said he was into magic, so he started doing these cheesy magic tricks to talk to the women and stuff. And the way he did it and his attitude, it just seemed like it was just very very practiced. It's, you know, and he kind of had a hard time connecting with the women. And whatchamacallit, he's short. He's a shorter dude. Made me think that he has a Napoleon complex. And then his dark secret was that he is a porn star or a porn stud. So yeah, that was like surprising. And after that was revealed, and he was the first person to reveal the dark secret out of the group, all of a sudden, like, the girls like flocked to him, and I guess some of them were curious. One girl even said she wanted to pee on him, and he said he wanted to drink it. It was just, oh, it's just great. I was like, oh man, she was drunk. I'll say that she was drunk out of her mind. But I was like, oh my gosh, what am I watching? It was crazy. And then so let me move on to the last girl that I have here for you guys. I'm sure I've skipped some interesting people, but the last girl right here, she what do you say? She was all dressed up, and then she said she'd like to hang out in places like Harajuku, which is like the fashion district, and in the Shibuya area, whatnot. And I was kind of like, I think that's what she said. But yeah, she just, it just sounded like she doesn't really take care of herself. That she just like going shopping, just walking, wandering around, living life, just, you know, without really much thought. You know, carefree, very carefree. But it wasn't like a I'm wild, I'm here to party. No, it was more like a what's going on? What? It was like that, you know. It turned out that her dark secret was that she slept with like 300 guys. So, you know, a nympho, basically. And the reason why she said that happened to her was that because her first boyfriend was very abusive. And I guess it just, I felt very bad for her that she was a complete victim here. She was one of those where, I'm not saying that her response was good, but her ex-boyfriend, it seemed like he really traumatized her. He like completely controlled her and destroyed her self-confidence and her self-worth. I think that's the most important part here, is that he destroyed her self-worth. He told her, like, if you love me, you got to eat my poop, and they asked her that, they were like, did you do that? She said no, but I think she did. It just, yeah, I feel so bad for her, but the way she retaliated to that was she took away even more of her self-worth and just slept with 300 guys. And it's like, that is absolutely, yeah, that's terrible, I think. You know, when thinking, and then you start, just the interesting thing about the show, you start comparing people, which it's not right to do, but like I compared her to the porn stud guy, right? In his case, at least that's a profession. In her case, she has some serious mental problems. I'm not saying that he doesn't, but it's a job that he's doing. In her case, she's letting guys take advantage of her. Yeah, I can't compare. I can't compare because they're two different cases. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but I mean, there are some people that are in the porn industry that are very, very successful, and I can't say that I would recommend that or anything, because I have seen on YouTube an interview with one a former porn lady where she basically said that, yeah, I made all this money and everything, but I've put myself in a position where now that I'm retired, my everyday normal life is, I'm suffering hard for it, and you want to feel sorry for her, but she did make that decision. She did reap the benefits, but now here are the consequences. And if I'm not mistaken, her bottom line was it wasn't worth it, and this is one of the top, I won't say the name here, but one of the top porn stars in the US. So anyway, yeah, it's, man. So yeah, I felt bad for her, but at the same time, she did that, it's, another guy, this is a guy, he was a guy that was like not popular at all with the women. It's almost like there's something wrong with him. And they called him like dreamless, like he has no dreams. He basically went to Tokyo, so I guess he's from the country, went to Tokyo without any dreams. He's like, I don't know why, I just came to Tokyo. I didn't have goals or anything. So that was in his introduction, that's what he said about himself. So he wasn't popular, wasn't connecting well, and then when he revealed his dark secret, he said that, I don't know if it was in high school, his first girlfriend was taken away by his buddy. So I think his buddy slept with his girlfriend. So after that, he turned, I guess it was so shocking, traumatic to him, that he became addicted to taking away other people's women. So if he sees a couple together and they seem real happy, he gets off to seducing and ruining that happiness. So that's all he's interested in. And if it's not that, he can't get excited. That's what he said, which is a severe emotional problem. And he had no, whatchamacallit, it seemed like he had no desire to fix it. Like some of these other people, they were like, I need to change, or please help me, or whatnot. This dude, he was like, that's how I am, and if it's not that way, I don't get turned on. And he even tries it in the show. They're like, why did you go after this girl? He's like, well, this other guy was already with her and they seemed real happy, so I wanted to put myself in there and do what my dark secret, do my darkness thing. So I was like, man, so I can see why, it's like, dude, you're sick. You're really, really sick. So I guess once he seduces the girl, he sleeps with her, then he has no interest in her anymore, that's pretty terrible. There was one guy on the show, he was a very successful guy, I think, at work, and his dark secret, and he seemed very proper, and out of the group, when all the guys hung out, he almost seemed like the leader guy, like everyone went to him, and he was, making decisions or whatnot. Like he was the reliable, sound guy kind of person, natural leader kind of guy. His dark secret was that he had his girlfriend basically cheated on him, and then after that, he couldn't trust women anymore, and yeah, he, you know, it just really, really traumatized him in so many ways. So he couldn't tell people, he couldn't tell his family and whatnot, and he just felt ashamed, and you know, and whatnot. And part of it is he does say that it was because he was so into his work, into his job, that he neglected her, and so he understands that, but he feels a distrust in women after that. So I think, did I cover everything? There was one girl left. She was not revealed. Oh, another girl, she ended up, I don't know if I already covered this. She ended up being a guy. So a tranny. I hope that's not the wrong word. If it is, excuse my ignorance. You know, I'm not hip with all the politically correct words. You know, I don't mean it maliciously in any way, but it's a born as a man who is now 100% trying to live life as a woman. So, and she says that she eventually wants to get the plastic surgery and the surgery to become a 100% woman. But so she's saving up for that. But that was her dark secret. And one of the guys actually, oh yeah, this is the one guy I'm missing. One of the guy that is interested in her. This dude, in the beginning, kind of got on my nerves. I felt like this dude was kind of like a punk. Not the thug, but a punk, and he behaved that way. The comments coming out of his mouth, the way he dressed, the way he looks, and yes, I know, don't judge a book by its cover, but he just didn't, he was always like smiling, giggling. He had like a Joker grin like all the time, you know, you can't take this guy seriously. He's like smiling and laughing at inappropriate times. When people revealed their dark secrets, he was one of the ones saying, "Oh, you're an idiot," you know, saying stuff like that, you know, whereas to everyone else, it's like, "Oh, that's a big problem. Man, that's serious stuff." Rather than being like that, they're like, "Oh, well, how stupid can you be?" He was saying stuff like that, you know. Well, this dude, his dark secret was he turned out to be, at a young age, his older brother's girlfriend raped him. That's what he said. She called him into her room, and he was like in shock, and he even said, "Please stop." But yeah, she, you know, had sex with him, and he was just scared and couldn't do anything about it. And so after that, and then I think something about his mom. His mom, I think, threw away the money into bad men. So I think the mom was single mom raising him and his brother. And so he kept begging her, "Hey, mom, come on, man, we need that money, save it up." But she was, you know, using it in the wrong way. So those two reasons, he said, is he had a problem with trusting women. And then he meets on the show, he meets the guy who is a girl now. So maybe that kind of made sense in a way, you know, that she is a woman, but not a little different. I mean, not 100% women. That's kind of, I don't want to say I regret saying that, but if you can understand what I'm saying, you know, that for him, that there's a safety there that she used to be, or she was born a male. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that she's not a woman, you know, but yeah. So anyway, man, it's just, I thought it was fascinating. This video is, yeah, it's going 30 minutes and on, but if you can, it's on Netflix. I suggest that you catch it. If you don't mind reading the subtitles, I have been hooked, looking forward to finishing it, and yeah. Anyway, so that's it for now. Thank you for listening, and take care, folks.